Hey guys, welcome to Texas History with Mrs. Chowdhury. If you don't know history, then you don't know anything. This week we are going to be focusing on an introduction to World War II. So our topics for discussion this week are actually going to be why did the war begin, who was involved, how did the U.S. get involved, and how did it affect Texas. All right, so let's pause for a second right here to talk about why did war break out. So last week you guys focused on the Great Depression. But it's important to know it did not only affect the United States. Germany and other nations, Great Depression also affected them and ended up leading to a rise of dictators. So a dictator is a ruler who has total power over a country. Adolf Hitler ended up becoming a dictator in Germany. This video that I have up here right now is actually linked to your Schoology page. Really want you guys to take a look at it. It's very informative. It's also in color, which is pretty cool. So it'll tell you more about the rise of Hitler in Germany. So Germany ended up forming a partnership with Italy and Japan, who also had their own dictators. And those three countries had the goal of trying to spread their power to other places and territories. So as you can see from this graphic right here, the spread of Nazi Germany went really far across Europe. And so the 1930s, Germany is conquering neighboring European countries. Japan is conquering a bunch of areas in Asia, including China. The United States is hoping to stay out of another world war. They're, suffering from their own economic depression, lots of unemployment, and they really didn't want to get involved. However, that all changed on December 7th, 1941, when there was the attack on Pearl Harbor in Hawaii. So the Japanese launched a surprise attack. Now, as you can tell from the headline here, 1,500 dead. This could not be ignored. This led the United States to declaring war against Japan. But because Japan was partnered with Germany and Italy, when the United States goes to war with Japan, they're also going to war with Germany and Italy. So now you have, in the world stage, all of these big countries. These are the big countries that are involved. So on one side, you have the Allied powers, or the United States, England, this is the United Kingdom, France, and Russia at this time was the Soviet Union. And then on the other side is Nazi Germany, Japan, and Italy. So United States is now in a conflict on two sides of the country. In the East, in the Pacific, they have the Japanese, and on the West, they had the European conflict with Italy and Germany. So this is where we have people stepping up to get involved. About 16 million Americans served in World War II. 750,000 of those were from Texas, and Texans fought land, sea, and air. Over 22,000 Texans died in service of our country during the war. Here at home, though, we had a lot of military bases that were created to train soldiers in preparation for the fight. So Avenger Field is one. Galveston also had, a military base. They were training people. And a historical monument that you can actually visit is Battleship Texas. It's actually in the Houston Ship Channel, so it's not that far away. So sometime this summer, I recommend a really great day trip is to go out there and tour, because Battleship Texas is the only remaining battleship that fought in both World Wars, I and II. It was really significant during the naval battles. But in the meantime, before you can actually go to visit yourself, I have a video on my Schoology page. You can take a virtual tour, which is pretty cool. So I recommend that you do that. Now that's the sea. In the air, we had people that were working B-17 bombers. These were known as the Flying Fortress because they could withstand tremendous battle damage. They had 13 machine guns. B-17s were the bombing effort over Germany. They flew 20,000 feet in the air. You can actually see planes just like these at the Lone Star Flight Museum in Houston. So Texas veterans, like I said, we had over 22,000 that lost their lives, but we had 33 soldiers that ended up receiving the Medal of Honor, which is the highest military decoration that can be presented by the United States government. These are two individuals that I would like you to read more about back on the Schoology page. And think about how history will always shape the present. So read up on these two veterans, Audie Murphy and Cleto Rodriguez, on your Schoology page. And then I want you to take, for your activity today, some time to respond to the Schoology discussion question. There's a few discussion starters on there, one of them including the importance of remembering our veterans. They say that those that do not remember history are doomed to repeat it. So we're trying to work on, changing that pattern by remembering our past so that we can use that knowledge to shape our present. Guys, thank you so much for joining me for this Texas with Mrs. Chowdhury, Texas History with Mrs. Chowdhury. I'll be back next week. Until then, take care.